I'm Gretchen,
I'm Corey.
and we are just two girls in Jesus. Corey and I have been friends for a whole lot of years. We have been friends since we were sophomores in high school. God told us, I don't know, Corey, when like October, November, that He wanted us to share our digs.
I think it was October, and then I just kept putting it off a little longer and a little
Yeah,
longer, you know,
yeah.
making excuses.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. God had been talking to me about this since 2020 when we were on lockdown from COVID. You know, we got put out of school and we were told to stay home and not go anywhere. We were all going to die. And, during that time, he started talking to me about this. And every time I tried to get involved, he would just stop. And so I wasn't going the right avenue, obviously. Um, so when you and I started doing this, um, Lou, Corey says, we got to share this with other people. And I was just like, bam, that this is it. This is what God was talking about all along. It just took us longer to get there, but that's okay. That's okay. We are experimenting with a new medium to share our digs with you all. Um, so we are just doing a trial run. And so we are going to share with y'all Proverbs 31 and 21. We wanted to do another dig with y'all. Corey and I were talking, and the very first like dig we did, we had been doing like devotions and other stuff together, but the very first dig we did was on Proverbs 31. And y'all, it wasn't funny at the time, but when Corey and I look back at it now, Corey was so angry.
Oh yeah, yeah. You
She
probably
was,
that.
do what?
I wouldn't even write anything down. I was like, I'm not doing it.
I know. But here was the thing. She read the entire chapter, and I think she tried to kind of chew it up and digest it all at one time. And, you know, I could appreciate the fact of doing that. You kind of felt like a failure because I am none of these things ever. I'm not all of these things every day,
Right.
right? I might be one or two of these things. There might be some days I am none of these things. So what we did was we took verse by verse and we broke it down, and we that was when we started looking up the meanings of words and other versions. So Corey and I just wanted to share that with y'all because, like I said, we get such a laugh out of it now when we think about how angry she was over that. And can you give us a little background, Corey? What about it made you so mad?
Um, because it because I'm not all of those things at any given time. I might be a lot of those things one day, but another day I'm none of them. It,
Right.
I felt like it was attacking me, like, and on the other hand, I thought I did all of these things. I was doing that. Why did this happen? We want to question God all the time. Why, why,
Hmm.
why? He knows the answer. We'll find out. Or, I mean, one day, hopefully, I'll be sitting there with him and I'll say, I don't understand why you let this happen. Uh,
Yeah.
and that's some of what I've learned with you is he doesn't necessarily let things happen. Um, but everything is happening for a reason. And when I sat down with you and I actually did verse by verse, and I took your warmth and your understanding of his word better than the way that I'm getting better, but your understanding is more clear. I'm still on a journey that you were probably on 10 years ago. I'm just
No,
now.
I wouldn't say that. But, I would also like to encourage everyone here that's listening is to choose a partner or a group of a small group of people to dig into these verses with. Corey and I learn so much from one another. Um, And it's so refreshing because a lot of the times we start out in different places and by the end we're in the exact same place. And then there's been other times where I have gotten one thing from it and she got something completely different, but neither one of us were wrong, you know? And it helps it helps you serve other people when you can see other people's sides of things, how they're reading the Bible. It uniquely qualifies you to talk to people and to listen to people when they're frustrated because their life is not turning out the way the Bible says that it should, you know? So I really want to encourage y'all to do this with someone else. You don't have to by any means, but it just gives you another perspective and you learn a lot from other people. So the verse that Corey and I chose was Proverbs 31:21. And that verse says, she has no fear of winter for her household, for everyone has warm clothes. Now, the title to that verse was, I am prepared. Um, and I had to look that one up in some other translations because um, I didn't really get that. And so I looked it up in the American Standard Version, and it says she is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all of her household are clothed with scarlet. So then I had to look up why scarlet was so important. Because when I saw that word, I was thinking of a color, right? Um, and then I was like, does it even snow in Jerusalem? Like in my head, that is a hot region. Like it doesn't even get cold there. I'm thinking of like desert. Like in my mind, it's just hot over there all the time. It doesn't get cold and it doesn't snow. So I had to do a little bit of research. Um, it does snow in Jerusalem. It does get cold there. Um, and okay, so in my research, this is what I said. They are talking about of the snow in Jerusalem because King Solomon, son of King David, wrote Proverbs, and some of the Proverbs were written by King David himself that Solomon included. They both lived in Jerusalem. So does it snow there? Yes. Not often and not much, but it can and it has seen 17 inches of snow. So now let me turn the page. The scarlet, you know, how does wearing a color help you in the snow? I don't know. But the Hebrew word for scarlet was shanim, Shanim. And it's not actually a color, but a type of fabric. And it is made with wool and it is absorbed and it absorbs and retains heat. And it just happens to be crimson or scarlet in color, the way we see that color. So now that verse made a lot more sense to me. She is prepared because she made clothes for her household in case it did snow. Snow was not a guarantee, but she knew it was possible, so she had those clothes prepared for in case. And isn't that so much what moms do just on the daily? I mean, we don't always do it well, but as a mom, especially when my son was little, I tried to always, be one step ahead of the game, you know, just be prepared. Like I'm a teacher, for example, I'm a teacher, so I get paid one time a month. And I was always throughout the month really particular about how much money I spent because towards the end of the month, the bank account starts getting really low. But I never wanted to be without the money to take him to the doctor for the copay, you know? So I was prepared in that way. Now, I didn't prepare for it every single day, but it was, that was just one of the things. I didn't let my bank account get that low. So if that meant I couldn't go out to eat because it was going to put my bank account too low, then I didn't go out to eat because I always made sure I had, money for the in case he got sick or whatever, you know? And so we don't give ourselves, I don't think, enough credit sometimes. That is being a good mom. That's being a good parent, you know? And we don't cut ourselves enough slack, you know? So that's just my little snippet from that verse. What about you, Corey?
I mean, this was one of the parts of, I think there were maybe 12, 12 14 Proverbs verses that we went over. And this was one of them where I was like, I was prepared. I did all these things, and yet this still happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, I sat down, I read it all in one sitting, and it kind of hurt my heart because of the space that I was in. And, now I can look at it and feel differently about it, in part because when you would write down what you got from each individual verse instead of all of it together, then I was able to look at it through someone else's eyes instead of my bitter, sad space that I put myself in when I read it all at once. And that's it. We go through seasons. We go through good. We go through bad. We question, even though we're not supposed to.
But let me stop you right there. Why are we not supposed to?
Well, I guess it depends on what we're questioning, right? So, am
Mm-hmm.
I questioning why this happened to me? Well, why not?
Right.
What makes me
Why
so
not you? Right. Why not you?
special? Um,
Right.
and that's something that I gathered through our time together, going through all this stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
why Jesus?
Right.
Why did he have to go through all that? Why did he go through all that for us? For
Right.
us, we're
Yeah.
imperfect, we're flawed, we're a mess,
Yeah.
but we're good.
That's right.
And thankfully, he sees that. And I can pull myself out and start to look at myself with the same grace that he gives us.
Right.
Because for a long time, I didn't give myself any grace.
That is so awesome. Can I just say how unbelievably proud of you I am? Like I know you're one of my lifelong friends. I know that. So I am biased. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm not. But I am so proud of you because I know everything that you've been through. And it would have been so easy for you to turn the other direction. At times, it might have been easier to turn the other direction than to dig in and take action and try to take hold of the chaos, you know? And I am so proud of you for making the choice that you made. And I'm so thankful that you brought me on this journey with you because I have learned not only a lot about you, but a lot about myself as well. And there is nobody on this planet I'd rather be doing this with.
I know there's a reason that, I mean, I would go to you and say, hey, I'm feeling some kind of way, and I need you to pray for me, or I need you to talk me through this. And
Yeah.
I felt that pull from you, that it was safe, that it was a safe place that I could go, and you weren't going to judge me, and you were just going to talk to me and help me help me
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah. And the unique thing about us is that you knew I was just as a hot mess as you were. So we didn't have anything to hide. There was no reason to be embarrassed because we knew just about everything already. Well, maybe not just about everything, but we knew a lot of the stuff already. One thing that I'm seeing that I wrote in the margins of my notes here is that God provides. God provides everything that we need. And, he may have provided this lady, this woman of the household. He may have provided her with the fabric, but she still had to make it into something. The fabric alone, it might do some good, but unless it was made into clothing or coats, in a manner that would keep them warm, to keep them covered, keep them, shielded from the elements. Just the fabric itself didn't do a whole lot of good. So, sometimes, God gives us what we need in totality. And then there's other times that He gives us pieces. God doesn't tell you to dig a hole and then the hole just appears. You got to pick up the shovel and dig, you know? So you are absolutely doing that. I am doing that. We are taking action, trying to make sense of this thing that we call life. And God is so good. He is so good. It still just blows me away how He worked all this together. It's just mind blowing to me.
Yeah. And we're listening. We'll see where he takes us.
Right. Yeah. You guys, I just want to take a moment and give a huge shout out to Corey's daughter. Her name is Kayla, and she has done some amazing things here. And I am not even technical enough to even try to tell you where they are, but we already have 20 followers somewhere, and we are so excited. Check us out really on the Facebook page if you have not done so already. That Facebook page is just Two Girls and Jesus. We drop our verses there in the mornings. Or no, we drop it there on Sunday evenings, and then Corey and I share nuggets of our digs, and that's where we will share the podcast as well in portions. But also, the cool thing about the Facebook page is that we can interact, we can ask questions and make comments, and so that's been really cool to see so far as well. Have you seen, Corey, any comments that you were like,
I just like, I mean, I already know because we've already been through this. So we know what each other's, what we pull out of it, right? Because we did these a little further back. So we know what
right?
we pulled out of it. But to see somebody else pull something, so now we've got a third person who's pulled something totally different out of it.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
We can't wait. Hopefully this platform is going to work well and you guys are going to like it. Please let us know if you think we can change some things, what we might be able to do to make it better for you and what you are wanting to get out of this. Every week's going to be different. Every time that we talk to you, it's probably going to be a little bit different, but we're just going to go wherever the Lord leads us and be our authentic selves. So until next time, love you all. Love you, Gretchen.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.